So for today's video, we're going to be looking into the dark abyss and stare into the nothingness, right? No, I'm just joking, but I do love my green screen in the back, right? Happy Friday. Hopefully everyone's doing great. And let's just jump right into today's video. So I want to talk all about Robinhood in today's video. And Robinhood is a company that I don't talk enough about on this YouTube channel. I have over 5 figures invested, tens of thousands of dollars invested in Robinhood. I am a Robinhood bull, and the more and more that I look at Robinhood and the more and more information that we get, and I'm going to be going over operational data today that Robinhood just dropped yesterday, or I should say 2 days ago, but I'm becoming even more bullish. So I want to talk about some stuff in today's video. Welcome if you are new. I put out videos Monday through Friday on this YouTube channel. On the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, I put out free educational content regarding the U.S. stock market. If you enjoy my stuff, smash like and let's get started. And of course, if you want to follow along, always subscribe as well too, entirely free. Okay, so firstly, Robinhood Hood update. So I am on directly the Robinhood website, and I highly encourage anyone out there to please do your due diligence. You can go to the investor relation website. I'll go ahead and put this down below in the description of today's video, but every single thing that I talk about, anyone else talks about on YouTube, you always got to take with a grain of salt. I'm not God. I'm not perfect. You always have to do your due diligence. I'm also not a financial advisor. I'm just a retail investor, retail trader. Been in the market for a while now. Not as long as some people, but definitely longer than a lot, especially if you've been getting in the market the last couple years. But I will say that I've learned a lot over the years. And one thing I've learned is you have and you must do your due diligence. That's not financial advice. That's very much common sense. So please, by all means, fact check me. Question me on something you don't understand. And like I said, I'll leave this link down below. But at the same time, definitely go to the investor relation page if you are a Robinhood shareholder or thinking about getting invested or maybe trading this company. So operating data. This came out 2 days ago, August 12th. So now operating data is something that's very unique because firstly, you typically see companies releasing operating data around like their quarterly earnings. And believe it or not, I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this, and he was actually mind blown when I said this. It is a requirement for a publicly traded company to drop earnings during a certain time period. If they do not, that company can actually be delisted. Oh yes, that company can get into a lot of big trouble. Believe it or not, there have been companies that have been delisted because they have not done that. Primarily in the penny stock realm. I'm not saying Robinhood is going to be delisted by all means, but I am saying that being a publicly traded company, you are under requirements to do certain type of stuff. Now, operating data, a lot of companies will post their operating data with their quarterly earnings. Robinhood is one of those great companies that actually gives us a lot of like breadcrumbs along the ways. You tend to really see this a lot in automobile companies, whether it's a EV company like Tesla and many others, or whether it's just straight, a typical automobile company, kind of like, drawing a blank right here. Oh man, Ford, et cetera, right? And any type of company that revolves around operating data, okay? So let's go ahead and look at this report. I'm just going to go and kind of really summarize this a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at the positive trends first. So pretty much positive trends, continued customer growth. Platform added approximately 80,000 new funded customers in July, reaching 28.5 million, represents a solid 7% increase year over year. Obviously, that's positive. A lot of people may argue, well, it's only 7%, but hey, would you rather have it be negative 7%? I mean, hey, it's still positive. Let's keep on the positive side here, okay? I understand there might be some bears out there But hey, it's a positive, right? 7% solid increase. Man, my earbuds are driving me nuts right now. Okay, strong year-over-year performance is another one. Despite month-to-month dips, most metrics are significantly higher this year than last. Pretty much trading volume is up 59% year-over-year, and option contracts are up 66% compared to July 2025 last year, which we were just getting out of Liberation Day as well too. Rising cash balances, cash and deposits grew 4% month over month and 34% year over year, suggesting that despite lower trading activity, users are keeping more liquidity on the platform. So maybe people are just not necessarily buying a tremendous amount, but people are keeping like cash on their brokerage. That's also very bullish and very positive in general, because it doesn't mean that people are legitimately leaving the market. People could very much go through a very unique swing, and I myself definitely have been in that swing where there's been times like last year, pretty much like the last 6 months of last year, I was very much cash heavy. And the reason being is because during Liberation Day last year, I pretty much went like all in, and I pretty much depleted my cash reserves. And then all my trade positions, I was pretty much just accumulating cash last year. So that's basically pretty much how I see it. It's primarily around people that are just building a bigger cash pile. Doesn't necessarily signal something bad, in my opinion. Now, if people were pulling all of that money out of the market and saying, screw you, stock market, that's a little different, right? Massive growth in event contracts, slightly down from June. Even contract volume is up 20% compared to July 2025. Water cheers. Rapidly expanding a part of their product ecosystem. And my throat's gonna go out right now. I apologize. But one of the reasons I'm super bullish on Robinhood is because their management team, allergy season is terrible. Their management team, VAD, don't quote me on this, but the guy, I believe in interviews, has said that he looks up to Mark Zuckerberg. And I look at VAD and I see him as a younger version of Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, the guy is an innovator. Hold that thought. We're going to be talking more about that momentarily. The bad areas of decline. So month over month trading slowdown across almost every category. Trading activity dropped in July compared to June. Equity volume fell 15%, and crypto volume saw a sharp decline of 33%. Oh yeah. This is bad, but it also ties into my bullish thesis. We'll get to that momentarily. Drop in platform assets. Total platform assets declined 4% month over month from 368.7 billion to 355 billion. Crypto weakness. Crypto trading volume remains significantly depressed compared to last year, down 62%. Don't get scared. If you are bullish like me on crypto, we'll talk about that in a minute. And yes, I do own crypto. This was driven by decline in both the core Robinhood app and Bitstamp activity. Reduced margin and lending revenue. The margin book used borrowing money to trade. Contracted 4% month over month. And total securities lending revenue was down 2% for the month. So understand that Robinhood makes a lot of money off people taking out margin. I'm not a margin investor. I'm not a margin trader. I don't believe in it. If you invest or trade on margin, God bless. I hope everything goes well. But understand that people have lost everything because they have been margin called. So me personally, my philosophy in life, especially when it comes to making educational content on YouTube, along with what I'm doing on YouTube as well too, I very much preach working hard, staying focused, building cash, investing cash, obviously growing very much your overall gross revenue. Try to keep your expenses down as much as possible. That doesn't mean literally suffer in agony, but that means saying, hey, like, let's say hypothetically, you're going on vacation, maybe you can save a couple $100 by not staying in the most expensive, hotels. And maybe that extra couple $100 can buy more stock. That's personally what I would do. I was actually on vacation a little over a month ago, and yeah, I actually stayed, instead of staying in the Hilton for a couple nights, I ended up finding out it was cheaper to stay at the Hampton, which is a sister of the Hilton. And guess what? I actually had some more money at the end of the month to throw in the market. So you can definitely do things like that. Okay, so why am I even more bullish on Robinhood? So pretty much from that operating data, we're seeing Robinhood very much be affected primarily a lot more from the cryptocurrency side than now from very much kind of like the trading and very much like investing side. Obviously, people are still in the market. Otherwise, Robinhood would not be growing with those numbers year over year, 7% and a few others. But at the same time, cryptocurrency volume, it makes up a lot for Robinhood. One of the reasons why Robinhood went on a utter tear here very much all throughout. Let me go ahead and zoom in on here. Each one of these candles represents one day. I'm on the daily chart right here. But Robinhood IPO'd very much in 2021. I myself did not get invested into Robinhood actually very recently. I was actually looking at taking a long position in Robinhood back in 2024, believe it or not. I actually chose SoFi instead of Robinhood. No regrets whatsoever, but that is pretty much the investment that I chose to make. But on the same side, this massive, massive push up that we pretty much saw, massive push up, a lot of it came from, honestly, very much cryptocurrency and very much a lot of products as well, too. Robinhood's ecosystem is much greater than what it was back in 2022, 2021, even going back before the IPO. What do I mean by ecosystem? So I have Robinhood Gold. Robinhood is what I use for my private profile. I also have a public profile that I made just for this YouTube channel here. I'll actually go ahead and show my public profile a little bit. I'm doing a public profile account challenge, looking to take a couple 5 figs to 6 figs in the course of 17 months. And the account challenge started 2 January of this year. We are already up by close to 50% here. But yes, I very much started to heavily buy Robinhood when it broke down below $100. And I have been buying Robinhood shares when it fell below $70. I think I got some at 68. In the 70s, I was buying Robinhood left and right. In the 80s, and I actually bought some Robinhood shares right after their earnings. They're very, very much sold off a little bit, right? So, yeah, I'll continue to add to Robinhood on this account, my private account. If Robinhood continues to definitely dip below $90, $90, I really do feel is a buying point for me. You can argue saying, well, Nightmare, your average price is $92, so of course $90 is going to be a buying opportunity. Duh, right? Yes and no. $90 on the chart is actually a very large area of pretty much kind of like consolidation in a way. And typically whenever we have a breakdown below $90, we could very much trend down to the low 80s, even below 80, very snap of a fingers, very, very quickly. So that's the reason why I'm really looking at $90 as a buying opportunity for me. Once again, for me, what I'm pretty much doing. And to go back to my public account very quickly, I do own cryptocurrency, Ethereum. I have not owned crypto since 2021, baby. So I'm actually very excited. Okay, so going back to pretty much why I am even more bullish on Robinhood. So I talked about this a couple days ago in my Robinhood video exclusively once again. But this operating data came out actually after I made the video. So I didn't actually have the operating data to really go off like my video even more. Definitely check out my Robinhood video several days ago if you have the time. But it was basically before the operating data came out about cryptocurrency being in the gutter. So I'm a crypto bull, but at the same time, what would I personally rather own? A lot of cryptocurrency or a lot of stock? I'm primarily a growth investor, and I would primarily rather put the vast majority of my money in the market in growth companies like Robinhood that does benefit from cryptocurrency. So I would rather put money into, or let me go ahead and say this. I would rather have tens of thousands of dollars invested into Robinhood, the company, rather than actually cryptocurrency. Believe it or not, there are people that would rather have tens of thousands of dollars invested in companies that build the AI data centers rather than the chip companies. I have taken a long position now into the semi AMD. I'm an AMD bull. I would rather be invested in the semi companies rather than be invested in companies that build out the AI infrastructure. For cryptocurrency, I'm the other way around. I'd rather have the vast majority of my money invested in a company that benefits cryptocurrency rather than having tens of thousands in cryptocurrency. Why is that? Cryptocurrency, in my opinion, it's still risky. It's not backed by anything. And yeah, cryptocurrency can see a drawdown, very quickly. Robinhood, they have the assets. They do have tangible book value. They do have the assets as well. And then on the flip side, they are making money on other products, not only cryptocurrency. But what makes me even more bullish about Robinhood, the fact that cryptocurrency is in the gutter and the fact that they are down by 66% blows my mind away. It really does. So when cryptocurrency turns around, which my bull thesis is that crypto is going to bottom this year. A lot of people believe crypto is going to bottom this year. I believe cryptocurrency is going to bottom this year, and probably by Q1 next year for Robinhood. It may even honestly be sooner than Q1. So when Robinhood reports Q1 of next year, we're talking pretty much they'll be reporting very much in April timeframe for Q1. However, going off of Q4 of 2026, so if they report, let's say next year, either later January, beginning of February, if crypto bottoms maybe in September or October this year, some people think crypto won't bottom until December. Some people say crypto will be bottoming in October. What do I believe? I don't know. I have a strong feeling that crypto is going to bottom sometime this year. I don't know if it's going to be October, if it's going to be December, nor do I really give like a flying poop, because either way, if Ethereum were to sell off more, I would be a buyer. I really would be. And if hypothetically Bitcoin were to go down to like $30,000, oh man, that would be very attractive. Very attractive. Very risky, but very attractive. So, if cryptocurrency bottoms this year and we see the crypto bulls start coming back, Robinhood is going to be one of those companies that are going to be benefiting drastically. So where do I see Robinhood based on the charts going in the short term and going in the long term? So just by looking on the daily chart, right? The daily chart. Let's go ahead and break this down. So relative strength index, RSI is 50. What does that mean? It's a coin toss. When the relative strength index is 50, pretty much it's a coin toss of if it can very much move higher or lower. Does Robinhood have the room to move higher on the relative strength index, the RSI? Oh, yes, it does. Robinhood could very much move back to maybe 105, 110, Robinhood could go up a good 10, 15%, maybe 20% before being overbought, having the relative strength index be at 70. Wait for it. Robinhood can go the opposite direction too. It could go down 5, 10, 15, 20% before being oversold. Very much. It does have room to move. Now, the moving average conversion diversion MACD, we are seeing the bullish crossover here where the MACD has crossed over. I will actually pull this up on the screen here. So the MACD is the green line here, and very much we have seen the bullish crossover. So does Robinhood have the room to move higher? Oh yes, it definitely does on the charts. Now, where do I see Robinhood going on the short term? Short term, basically, maybe the next several months. We could very much challenge, once again, very much move back to where we were back in July before earnings. We saw a dip pretty much in earnings because obviously they came in, they very much beat EPS, earnings per share. They beat revenue by a small amount, but a lot of negativity still around cryptocurrency and very much how they had to fund the Trump accounts too. That does pull out a lot of revenue, and it does affect their balance sheet. So we're definitely seeing that being kicked in the teeth. But, I mean, hey, Robinhood has the room to definitely move maybe the next, month or so, maybe 2 months, very much back to $120. Am I placing any bets, any short-term bets? No. If Robinhood goes in the other direction, goes down to $70, hey, I'll buy more shares. Yeah, I'll go ahead and buy more shares. Now, we look at the weekly chart. Pretty much 1 week. Relative strength index, once again, actually when the weekly and the daily is pretty much the same on the relative strength index, that pretty much means that there is a lot of room for that stock to very much go on a run. Oh yes, very much go on a run. So on the weekly chart, very much relative strength index, nice in the middle. MACD, obviously a little more moving to the upside. Obviously, we're very much above the 100-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is right at the 102, 101. So on the weekly time period, everything is still looking somewhat up in our favor if you can actually see it. It's just going to be very much a wait. It's a waiting game. Crypto pretty much has to very much bottom. Like I said, I very much do believe it. But ultimately, in the short term, it's very much a coin toss. Robinhood very much can go up by 10, 15, 20%. Robinhood can very much go the other way. As a bull, as a shareholder now, I'm not looking to do anything wonky. If it goes the other direction, hey, I'll add some more shares. If it goes up, cool. I got a lot of shares. I mean, either way, I win in the end. That's the amazing thing, okay? Set yourself up so you win in the end. If the stock goes up, it's a win. If the stock goes down, it's a win. Set yourself up in the stock market to win in either direction. And that's pretty much what I primarily do. And that's also why I am kicking the S&P, the Q's bum on a yearly basis. Oh yes, my profile, very much higher than the S&P and very much higher than the Q. My private account as well too. Very, very much on a annual basis. I am beating not only inflation, I am also beating the major indexes. And that's pretty much how you got to play this game. Your goal and your mission is to beat the major indexes, especially if you are not buying the major indexes. You are very much buying individual companies or trading stock as well too. Now, ultimately, where do I see Robinhood going? So understand that Robinhood very much IPO'd at a insane time period, right? And if you bought Robinhood at the high of IPO, you are barely up. Imagine that, right? Barely up. Robinhood, when we are in a risk-on environment, and I'm talking very much risk-on environment, You don't have like inflation fears like we do now. You have cryptocurrency very much rock and rolling. This company is going to be back at all-time highs by the time you know it. We're going to be very much on a upward trend. Our earnings has definitely caught up to the massive run. Yes, obviously, a lot of stuff has gone south, such as the crypto revenue, but that is going to come back at an accelerating point. My previous video, I talked about this. Robinhood expanded into the UK now for crypto trading. Oh, yes. So Robinhood is setting itself up to go on the next big run. But I'm looking at Robinhood very much in the future at $200, $250, $300. You're talking about a massive, giant, global company that Robinhood wants to become. So if you enjoyed my video for today, you guys know the drill. Smash all the buttons here. Subscribe for more content. Let me know down below if you are a Robinhood shareholder, Robinhood bull. If not, no hard feelings, right? If you're a Robinhood bear, definitely let me know too. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow with a new educational video. Stay tuned for more content. Later, everyone.